So this is going to be the first episode of my podcast relaunch where it's officially That Creative Life podcast.
Ooh. That Creative Life.
Oh, wow.
And what a
we're
good
the first
guest.
ones.
Yep. I mean, I got
Wow.
some fire guests coming up, but I saved the best for first.
The best for first.
See, we didn't know that either. Like, I didn't know that was the thing today.
Yes, it's a thing. And guys, so recently, we can't tell you anything, but I had the pleasure, John and me had the pleasure of hanging out with Damon and Joe on a secret project.
Super secret,
I'm
top
not
secret.
saying anything.
We
Y'all can
can't-
talk about that.
We can't say anything, but we got to spend a lot of time with these lovely humans. Travel YouTubers. They know multiple languages. They're so smart. So smart. Have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We're going to get into a lot of stuff.
Wait, can I just interrupt? We're so
Yes.
smart, yet I'm like, Sarah, how do I change a setting on my camera? I like literally
You couldn't even take pictures.
I couldn't take pictures until you changed the setting on a camera I've owned for
Fixed
a year.
it. Well, hey, that's why I'm there. I'm there for you guys.
Like, can I just ask you for these cameras? Like right now,
Yes.
what are the settings? Because
Yes.
we would do auto, and I know that's wrong.
Well, okay, here you have controlled lighting in a studio, so you
Yes.
can do manual, right? So you do the shutter speed, double the frame rate. So I'm shooting 24 frames per second. So you want to aim for 1/50.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then, ISO, you don't want it too high, aperture down a little bit to get the fuzzy background. But I mean, you got your videos are so good because your personalities are amazing.
Because we
It doesn't
edit
matter.
the talent in.
It's a joke that we have to edit the
We
talent.
like our
in.
editors. We're not videographers. We literally edit our asses
Hey,
off.
the most beautiful videos in the world, when they don't have personality,
It's true.
Oh yeah. No, it doesn't work.
So we got to hang out a lot recently, and I was so enjoying like y'all's story and how you got to be Damon and Joe that when we were hanging out, I literally started a notes. And I was like, these are all the questions I'm gonna ask them. It's gonna be so good. They're amazing human beings. So right now I'm trying to find the notes sheet that's titled Damon and Joe. Here we
She's
go.
like, I deleted it.
Straight to the
So
trash.
this is an audio first podcast. So the only people that get to see our beautiful faces are the ones who are subscribed on my YouTube for the what's it called? The sponsor thing. The sponsor $5 a month thing.
Oh, the like
Whatever-
premium subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever
So
that's
everybody
called.
listening, go on to That Creative Life on YouTube, subscribe because there's some funny facial expressions happening.
Exactly. And see, I'm paying attention to the audience. I'm actually putting on my main channel, the SARA DIETSCHY one. Go where the people are, But anyways,
I think they're all on TikTok these days.
that's what I'm
What's
saying.
that?
What's that called?
What's the tick? Are you guys on TikTok?
No, we did it, and it was like actually fun. I
Wait,
think it's
did we?
Because it was Musically before, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they rebranded.
They rebranded. We did it for
China
like
bought
6 videos, and it was fun. I mean,
We were
that's-
like pretty good at it.
We
We,
were
got like
great.
I bet
very
you
good
got
at it.
some followers on that.
We didn't. That's why
No?
we stopped.
We
Because
just
the
felt
14-year-olds, the 14-year-olds took all the shine.
That is so funny. For the people who don't know who you guys are, give me a little intro. Damon and Joe, who are you? What's the type of content you guys make? Guys, I hate the word content, but here we are.
It's like all these
We're
swear words,
YouTubers.
like content, YouTuber, influencer. They're all like
Sponsored ad.
gross
I know.
words.
Yeah.
Influencer is probably the worst word out of all of them.
I don't know, man.
Do you say creator?
I like creator. I create stuff, but the influencer is where you get your money.
What about
So-
like talent too? Talent's like a tough one.
talent? That was weird being called that on that secret shoot that we're on.
Yeah.
Because I like the all-encompassing word of creator because that insinuates
That you work?
I'm doing. Yeah.
You work.
You're not just a pretty face, but you do everything, right?
Right.
And you guys do everything from start to finish. I mean, what is your relationship like with breaking down videos? You have one channel, but then you also have started new things we'll get to soon. But how do you break down the Damon and Joe channel? What are the roles?
Let's intro.
The elevator pitch.
Intro. Come on,
Oh,
guys.
Gosh, Joe went to school for business. This is
I
like what she
know.
loves to
I'm
talk
gonna
about.
like let him start and then I'll come around with the
Let's do our
closer.
intro. Ready? What up? It's Damon.
It's Joe,
And
and
it's
it's
Damon
Damon
and
and
Joe.
Joe.
And we are 2 travel vloggers / bloggers / influencers, creators, whatever your preferred word is. We travel the world. We make videos that are not cheesy. Or I don't think that. Or do you think
No,
they're
they're
cheesy?
not.
No, I
No.
feel like we started looking, like we started it from our passion. Like we both individually, before we met, we always wanted to live an international life. And that's like him in Indiana, me in Connecticut, like really small towns. We both went to college in New York, which is where we met. And when we met, it was like the common theme was, let's learn languages because we loved it, and let's travel to apply those languages. And so when we did that, we both studied abroad in Paris. We realized like we're broke, first of all, like we had no money, but we were having the good time that we were having because we weren't afraid of like finding cheap flights and sleeping on a bench because we didn't have money to pay for a hostel. And so this whole time,
Did you guys really sleep on a bench?
Wait, that was like our first video in
sleeping
Barcelona.
on a bench in Barcelona is a video.
After taking a €7 flight, like €7 is like $10.
Yeah, they were like selling everything you can imagine in flight because it was one of those. It was one of those like really really budget airlines, and I think I took like one shirt and one pair of underwear.
Oh my!
Because you like
buy this
couldn't
bar
have
of chocolate
anything.
for $30.
So we started out doing it just because we loved it, and then Damon always had this like passion for filming. I always wanted to like keep every memory, but then I was like coming from a business background, and we were in college together, but we studied different things. I studied business. You studied a bunch of things until you dropped out. He dropped out.
That's right. Yeah, that was like the best decision. But I only dropped out after I'd seen how great the education was in Paris, where I studied for a year. And I realized like, yo, people in my class right now are, one, smarter than everyone else than I was in class with back in the States. And then two, they're paying like $800 a year. The entire year.
But it also like, so we had started the idea in Paris. It was like Damon and Joe. We knew that it was like different fun and we just loved doing it. And then we're like, everybody's like, how are you guys traveling? You don't have any money. And we're like, you're right, but that's not an excuse. So we're going to film everything and show you how we're doing it too. So we came back to New York. I was still in college, wanted to drop out. Damon dropped out. And we're like, let's make this a TV show.
But yeah, like I dropped out. I think we had 4,000 YouTube subscribers.
That's
and this
when
was,
I dropped out.
Yeah?
I dropped out at 3,500 subscribers.
I was like,
because I was like,
care.
this is gonna be my job.
Yes, you have to like have that mentality.
Yeah.
You always say you cannot have a plan B.
No, like plan
You
A
can't
is
have a
plan
plan
A.
B.
Oh my!
There's no
I have
other
yes.
plan.
I mean, okay. So dropped out at 3,500 subscribers, and I always said, 21 years old is too soon to be living for my plan B. It terrified me that I was that young and I was already going with the safe option. Oh, I'll just be an electrical engineer, have a 6-figure salary, raise a family, and like, guess that's it. Ooh, that scared me, right?
It was
So
like
scary.
for us, like while I stayed in school, and it was all strategic. I stayed in school because I was an RA and that gave me free housing in Manhattan.
Smart.
2 beds. Damon came over. I
Yeah.
would like, and I was an RA, so I had roommate conflicts. So I would go handle roommate conflicts, and Damon would finish my calculus homework, so we could finish at the same time to edit videos. This is like how the last 2 years
God, the hustle
of college happened.
But
So
also, mind you, we're a little bit older than like most YouTubers these days. Like
Yeah.
I'm 27, you're 26. So
I love how that's old. Y'all aren't old.
No, I don't. Trust me, I don't
Like,
feel
we
old. No,
young,
like
we
I feel
young.
honestly for everyone who's 27 or older, like you probably know. I mean, I personally feel so much better.
Yeah.
also like
it's nothing to be
people think
scared of.
He's 18 years
I know.
old still, so it's fine.
No, but back in the day, so when we were in college, it was what 2012, 2013. So YouTube and being an influencer wasn't even a word yet.
No.
No.
And it's
YouTube
still
was
very
not a
new.
career.
People are already talking about how influencer marketing is over. I'm like, honey, it's just beginning.
It's just beginning.
Strap in, you know.
No, I really it's literally like buckle up.
Yeah.
No, so we basically wanted it to be a TV show, and that was because YouTube again wasn't really a thing yet.
Right.
It was, but it was very like sit in front of your channel, sit in front of your like computer with your Logitech camera and like blab, and we never saw ourselves doing that.
Story time.
Yeah, so then we're like, it's bigger than YouTube, or maybe it's not, but like it should be on TV. And so we spent the first 2 years in New York trying to convince TV executives why a young travel show for diverse millennials and like multilingual kids would be better than an old white rich dude going to the top sexiest beaches that nobody could ever relate to.
Right.
They thought we were adorable. They were like, oh my God, you guys are so cute. And I'm like, what about my pitch deck? What about season 1, 2, and 3 that we have planned? What about these sponsorship ideas that we have?
Right.
And they turned us down, and they were like, well, if you want a show about your love lives, rekindling your like family love or like dramatics,
we were like,
we'll give you a show today. And we literally signed like production company agreements with Emmy Award winning companies. And then we walked away because all their ideas were like raunchy, like TV shows. And that's when we went to YouTube. So it was like a long journey of like 2 years of kind of going backwards to just go forwards.
Right. And how cool is it that the option of you taking control of your own videos and your own stuff is the one that worked? Thank God. But I didn't know that. So take me like into those rooms that you were in?
Oof.
How did you,
Just
I mean,
like
how did
fluffy
you
dogs, like
get
pink
there?
bags,
Like literal dog and like casting development, whatever executive.
No, okay, so like how do we get into those rooms? So
Yeah.
like Damon
LinkedIn.
and I, we would sit down in a computer room where we're like, we didn't even use the computers. We literally used our own laptops. But we took one video class together and it was 1 hour a week. And we would like work every day looking on LinkedIn to see who was the executive. Then we would find them on Twitter. We'd try to find their personal email. We'd find them on Instagram because Instagram was just starting, and we'd message them on all of the accounts.
Wow.
And sometimes I'd find the phone number of the office, call the reception desk, lie, ask to speak to so-and-so because they had messaged me on LinkedIn to schedule a meeting. And we literally got our first agent because I lied in a cold call, got a FaceTime meeting, like in-person meeting, pitched them, and they were like, okay, great, you're signed.
Also, though, disclaimer, you have to have a good phone voice, and Joe does. She's like a phone
Very
operator.
professional.
Well, now I'm like
and-
very raspy. I talk a
No,
lot.
we have like competitions to see who can leave like the best voicemail for somebody.
Give me a voicemail.
Okay,
Here
no,
we go.
I'm not good at this. I hate
Joe.
talking on the phone. I hate taking phone calls.
You know what? It's
Okay.
just like because
So
I had so many jobs.
I have a juicy brand deal for you. Sell me. Why?
Oh God.
Hi, this is Joanna Franco calling. I'm the co-founder of Shut Up and Go, also the half of Damon and Joe. We have a really successful YouTube channel, and I think it'd be a great business strategic partnership for us to collaborate. Would love to get in touch. Give me a call. Here's my number. I'll take you
Love
out
you,
to
bye.
coffee, and I'll give you coffee.
Take out the no, but I swear the main key was, you know how you go on LinkedIn sometimes, maybe people aren't even doing this anymore. You'd go on LinkedIn and some profiles would be private.
Mm-hmm.
You would find the ones that are public within the same company. You would find the like how they do their emails
Now
within
there
the
are
company.
apps for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, you find out like how people do their emails within a company, and then you
First
like
initial, last name, a
And
dot,
then-
whatever.
and then you apply it to who you want to talk to.
We are dropping some practical-ish
Yes,
out
yes,
here.
yes.
So-
And LinkedIn, everyone's like, build your personal brand on LinkedIn. That's like the new Instagram for business people, it seems like. So I am annoyed by the emails I get from LinkedIn. So I just never have ventured down that road.
Yeah, the key is get the information from the platforms and go straight to the source. Get on the phone,
yes.
text somebody, message them on like Instagram or Twitter. So we did all of that, and that's how we got into several meetings. In
Yeah.
fact, like in New York, we spent so much time running around that now we don't even like taking meetings anymore because we're still like scarred from like
Right.
going from place
Well,
to
because
place.
you control your own destiny now too. So being in those rooms where that feeling isn't there is kind of like, whoa, am I going backwards? You know?
But every meeting that we had, we would joke around, and I guess it's not even a joke. It was like it was like, you know, when you're playing a video game and you have to pick up a key to get to the next level? Every meeting was like that. Like
Wow.
the deal would suck or like the conversation
Yeah.
might be shitty, but you would learn one piece of information that would literally open the door to the next phase of the journey. And so like whether it was a meeting, we met with this woman who used to work for MTV, and she met with us and she like randomly decided to send us a format of how a TV show is pitched. So nothing else ever happened with that woman. But after
But
that
that
meeting,
helped.
we
Yeah.
learned how to like actually write a TV pitch.
Right.
So things like that kept happening until we realized like the executives in New York at the time didn't understand the value of investing in creativity because they wanted like hard numbers and return on investment.
Right.
And that's when we moved to LA basically. And
Wow.
that's when we were like 40,000 subscribers. It's time to just like quit everything.
But
'Cause
we
you-
always say
Yeah.
that no matter who you meet in a meeting, whether it's entertainment or whatever career you're working in, like that person that you're meeting with, that you're interviewing with, could totally change jobs in 2 years, and that in 2
100%.
years that could be the next opportunity for you. So whether or not you think it's going to be like the opportunity you take, the fact that you're meeting the person, that is what could take you to the next
It's
level.
also a good reason to not burn bridges.
Yeah.
It's a very tight community of people, and it's very relational, you know. So it sounds like you're the businessy person, right?
I am, girl.
So where does that leave you,
I
Damon?
never, like, you grew up wanting to be like a boss ass bitch. Like, you
I
wanted to
did.
be a CEO. You wanted to run an international company.
I like was crazy in high school. I literally
I
started
love
this club
that.
from scratch, opened a school store, made enough profits to fly like 5 people from my school to DC. I was like
Yeah,
about
you
that
loved it.
money, like
Wow.
cash money.
I love
you
it.
like loved the numbers, loved the conference calls,
But I
calendar
didn't want to work
appointments.
for like a dumb or something gross. Like I wanted
Right.
to like put my talent or like my desires to motivate people in a good way,
Right.
which is why I quit corporate jobs because I like wasn't jiving with these like just money-based businesses.
Yeah, and then I would say that I'm more of the creative side. Like, you're creative in your own right. Like,
And he answers great emails. Like, he's
you know, I can
too.
like, if I have to leave a voicemail, I will. It's not my favorite thing. No, I like never had an interest in going to business. I always wanted to do something in entertainment. I used to make videos just on my own with my friends before Joe and I had a channel, but that was back when YouTube wasn't a thing. So it was just purely for fun, like going out, doing something funny. Now I look back at those videos and I'm like, that wasn't funny at all.
No, some of them are great though.
Everyone has cringe stuff. I mean, if you go, I started posting YouTube videos in 2011, so yeah, there's
Are
cringe.
they still public?
A lot of them are.
Oh my gosh, she's daring.
My first YouTube video is still up, and it's me like not even on camera, and it's like demoing a guitar pedal I'm trying to sell, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm demoing the full tone soul bender. Okay, let's
Like
get into
ASMR
it."
So
before it was
cute.
a
Yeah,
thing.
for real.
Yeah,
The queen
like-
of ASMR.
It was a thing. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like everyone starts that way, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was more of the creative one. She was the business one, and we like came together. I learned how to do more business stuff. She learned how to like look at fonts and colors and layering and aesthetics and all that.
And like you got to think about like where do you naturally just go? And naturally, like when we have downtime, I'm researching like business strategy, what's new and cutting edge. Damon's like literally learning every font and knows what is serif, and like I know that too.
Here's
Like,
the I went
serif,
to
serif.
the restroom in London one time, and I see this poster, and I'm like, that's Porter Sands.
Yeah, literally. Like Joe, look, that sign is Cooper. We used that font back in 2015. I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, I knew it because we had
I
used it
love
before,
it.
and it was
Yeah.
royalty free. And I'm like, that's funny that like
That's
in
so
this like
funny.
fancy place they're using a royalty font. Anyways,
Right.
so we
so
definitely
we built
stay
on
in our
like
lanes.
interests. Yeah, built off of our interests and our like strengths.
But I love that because it's almost like when you're doing business or anything creative, I think you can benefit so much finding a partner in crime that complements you. I don't think you want the same exact person, then you're going to be butting heads. And so you want someone who you can learn from and jive with. And
Totally.
I mean, that's huge. That's such a big part of it.
I think, yeah, we definitely got like the magic sauce of like both of our personality types. And we've been doing this together for like 8 years, 7,
Wow.
8 years. So
How
a lot
many
of people.
languages do you guys speak?
Now it's like 5.5. It's like rough.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been in the States
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
a month. Everything goes out of your brain.
Wait, but before we move on, what do you consider yourself? Would you say you're more business or creative?
I would say I'm right in the middle.
Like 50-50.
The
I
perfect
would-
girl.
Like the perfect channel, the creative life.
No. I mean, I would say that if I do too much of each, it like really weighs on my person. But I would say I'm at a point right now where I've done every bit of the creative process, from filming to editing to color grading to doing all these nitpicky things and enjoying that. But I've gotten to the point where after doing that for 5 years straight, I'm ready to kind of shift gears a little bit. I'm ready to like give up some control in the creative side, because how are you going to grow if you like never give up control? So that's where I am right now, where it's like, okay, time to lean in more on the business side of things, time to lean on other people, which is scary.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's terrifying. And I want to talk about Shut Up and Go as well, talking about leaning on other people. You know, you guys have taken this thing with your YouTube channel, over 1 million subscribers. You've done high productions with brand partnerships. You do your own thing. What I love about y'all is you can do that high level stuff, but at the same time, the video you just posted of the, you know, doing bad British accents, like that was y'all just chilling on a bed, hanging out, having fun. It was so personal. So you can do both things, which is so fun. But what is this next step? Shut Up and Go. What is it?
The Shut Up and Go motto was kind of like when we started filming. So basically we took the leap, can't speak English. See how many languages you speak? None. So we took the leap, we went to LA, and Damon and Joe was the name of the channel, but we started like saying, shut up and go, like stop making excuses. For years, we kept saying shut up and go. And then I literally on a piece of paper back in 2012, drew a little tiny stick figure of Joe and Damon. And then on top of that, I put shut up and go at the top of it because I saw that there was a bigger brand, and we both saw that, which is really good to see that. In the beginning, we knew that in order to like make it a bigger company, we would have to create this like undeniability factor, which is what the channel became. So the channel was like, let's grow the audience. Let's see what this community wants, how they speak and think and want like things. And so we grew the community, and then we're like, okay, clearly there's something special here because it's a multilingual community. If you go on all of our videos, the comments are in different languages. We made videos regularly in different languages. So we have like very strong French audience, Brazilian audience, and then like all over the world in general. So we're like, this is a one-of-a-kind community. Let's build a platform for them because there is no place like that. And that's the place we would want to find friends who have the same interests of like languages and travel. So then we basically invested in developing the Shut Up and Go platform, which is like a digital site with a bunch of articles now from contributors worldwide, which is so exciting because it took a long time to like build the machine of like, okay, we're doing our videos, but like who's sourcing the content? It was always like a very big, overwhelming task. So it kind of all fell into play. Like we got a tweet from this person who was like, hey, would you ever accept contributors? And I'm like, you know what? The email sat in my inbox for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Damon's like,
no, I responded to it. Thank you.
Yeah, you responded. But like, I was like,
sometimes stuff like that is paralyzing because it's like, oh, yes, I see it, but I can't tell you what to do right now. Yeah. I don't have steps, so I can't do anything.
Like delegate any tasks because I'm like overwhelmed. So then when I finally had a minute, I was like, Damon, did you see this email? He's like, yeah, 6 months ago. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I'm creating a profile on our site because at the time it was a blog. So most YouTubers are just YouTubers. We were always YouTubers and bloggers. So
since the beginning, we had a blog that we would write, both of us, probably 2 articles a week, and then we'd do our videos on the side. And yes, we were like exhausted. And it came a time where we were just like, we're meeting all these people who are more or less living the same life as us, right. Whether they're like au pairs, they're teachers, they're just studying abroad. They're like living the life that we live.
Right.
They just don't have a YouTube channel about it.
Or a platform to talk about their mottos and their life.
There was no website for this.
So we basically zoomed out, created this platform. It took so long. It was like crap ton of meetings to like get the design, thousands of dollars, like thinking about not just phase 1 but phase 1, 2 and 3 and maybe 4 of like, okay, we're doing this to see how it works, and if it works we're going to keep investing in this. It's like a living creature basically. So we launched it in September, and it's so exciting because we have this one guy who wanted to contribute. He became a contributor. Then I'm like, do you want to like work with us and source contributors? He was like, yeah, I'd love it. So then all of this is remote. I literally trained him when I was under a mosquito net in Kenya. I would take screenshots of his writing. I would annotate it with my fingers and be like, boo boo, bad voice, grammar mistake, but you're on the right track. So I trained him like that.
Wow.
Across time zones, and he learned so fast. So then he started like sourcing these content like pieces, and we love them. And I'm like, okay, of all the pieces, pick 10 writers that you think are strong enough that you don't have to surveillance them, because that's how we're gonna grow. So he picked 10. I like sent out an email. Both of us extended the welcome, like, hey, we can't pay you right now, but we're really confident that we can get you on free trips. Next thing you know, out of the 10 writers, 8 of them have gone on trips since September, and they're like young 20-somethings. When we started, we would literally have to pay to work.
Yuck. Yeah.
We're like, we just want to go whatever on a trip. We'll pay like in terms of like time and money because we're taking time off of our work. Now we're like, we will give you this opportunity to go on a cruise and write about it for our platform, and we'll pay you. And that's how it is.
Well, it's people don't realize how ambitious of a goal that is to not only travel for free, but get paid to travel. Like, oh, you got to do some like 1% work to be in that 1% of people who do that, right?
That's so true. I like that. Yeah, you have to
so
totally
it's like, you
put in the work.
Bold.
Well, so like we were drinking wine one night because like that's the way to cope these days, and we were like looking at each other like, this lifestyle is unreal. We're like in a hotel room, and again, we used to like stay in hostels in 16 to 21 person rooms.
Which, by the way, in a week I will be staying in a hostel. Like we still do. I'm staying in a hostel next week for 3 nights,
and it's like cool for like research and cultural and like just friends. Like I stayed in we just still stay in hostels, but like for work we'll stay in these nice hotels, and we're just like still working, you know, like we worked from 6 a.m. and you were with us, like you knew you were working too. So you see that, but it's like for years this has been our life now, and it's pretty crazy, but it's like we know that it's better than an office job.
100%.
So we will stay up till God knows how many hours because we know that we used to do it for school, and it was like, for what? To like write this paper that doesn't matter. So now I'm building something great.
It's for a bigger purpose.
These hours are worthwhile. And now, because we have a team of people, it's like I'm not working just for us. we're both working for the bigger mission, you know? So it's more gratifying.
Fudging love that. I was just talking to John about that last night. I was stressed out about YouTube stuff, of course. But then we came to a place, well, like, hold on. Normal people always get stressed about their jobs, right? But then they don't have this thing that they own and that it's theirs. And like 50% of the time, if you're doing something that can be creatively fulfilling, well, like you're already ahead of people who probably hate their life 90% of the time with, you know, a boss they hate at 9 to 5. But
it's also the community too. Like if you think about it, like we were just
100%.
recognized on the street now, and it's like these people, like their faces light up, and it's like, think about them, you know, like when we're stressed, like think about the people that love your videos, that they are having a hard day, and all of a sudden you post a new video and you make their day. Like that's kind of what we always think about too.
It's perspective. You always got to go back to that perspective.
I have a folder in our inbox where it's like, okay, if I'm having a freaking bad day and I'm like, pull the plug, delete the channel, I'll go to this
which has come very often these days.
Which is happens more often than I'd like to. We have a folder called like fan emails of like the really good ones, the tear jerkers. That's what we should name it, the tear jerkers. Of like, you guys changed my life.
That's
like I went to Australia and lived and did a year abroad, and just like stories that will literally stick with these people until they're 80, you know?
That's so amazing. What is the main goal of Shut Up and Go? Fast forward 5 years, 10 years, what is it going to look like?
For me, it's like when I'm old, crusty, and wrinkly, I don't need to get on planes to like know that I've built a successful company. Yeah. So for me, it was always like, one, creating a place for people like us, because there was never a place for people like us. Two, it's like giving away some of that control so that the like leaders of today will have a platform that's built on honest values of like, we did all of this from scrap. Like we don't have money. We didn't have money. We came from nothing.
Right.
So we infuse that in anything we do. And so I think it's really cool to be able to like build a company that not only started because of that hunger, but where everybody who's a part of the company is still embracing that lifestyle. So I think it needs to just stay this authentic voice. And the end goal for me is like, not only having articles, but doing video content. So 2019 for us, it's going to be like the BuzzFeed of travel, where we have key personalities and we're going to give them power. We're going to teach them how to edit. So it's like extending what we've learned and just expanding it.
Yeah.
It's that. And then also we have so many other projects. We always saw like it's Damon and Joe and Shut Up and Go. And for the longest time, these were like one being, and now we're separating the two, where Shut Up and Go can fully live on its own, whether or not we're there or not.
Right.
Like as it is now.
Which is so hard to do.
It's hard, but then it's like
it can be so rewarding.
Training is no joke.
No, but okay. Here it comes. You asked me the question of like creator business. I feel like in that sense I am a creator first, because I have no perception of training, delegation, writing a manual for people.
That's like my bread and butter.
That is something that I recently learned in the past 6 months. One of my friends, Cody, basically, he recommended a book, The E-Myth. And it's funny, I read it, but I didn't even have to read it. He just told me what I needed to know from the book. And the thing he said was, if you're running a business, you have to have every aspect of your business written down to where if you died today, it could still carry on. Of course, being a YouTuber, that's hard. It's your face. But that was like, what? I've never heard anything like that before in my life. And I was like, oh, that's this other world of people who are managers, CEOs. Like, I got to wiggle out of this like creative cocoon that I've been living in for so long.
You're like now taking submissions for the creative life. Like that's how you're dividing the two.
Well, no, I delegated the editing of this podcast, which was my first step.
So
gosh, I would love to find an editor that like gets us.
Email them, like, guys, if you can edit.
Tough. Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, with everything, if you build it, it's like clearly you're going to be super meticulous, because here's the thing with the whole, like, whether it's business or creative, I think the most important thing to running a business or being successful in delegation is you need to know how to do it. Because, for instance, like accounting. Okay, I failed accounting, let's be honest. Which is why hiring a good accountant was the hardest thing that we had to do. Because I didn't know. I like tried. I really tried. And then I learned enough to like catch on. Remember when we started like meeting with accountants and I'm like, something seems off. Whereas I wasn't so sure with them. But if I was to hire a person who was tasked to do like managerial stuff, the minute they slipped up, I'd be like, nope, because I know how to do that.
Right.
The minute an editor doesn't do what we want, we're like, nope, because we know how to do it. So I think it's really important to teach yourself the skills to be able to hire somebody and teach them how you want it done.
Well, and keep them motivated too. Like just last night, we were like, thank you, team of contributors, for like all the work you've put into this. What did we say? We said like, I cannot believe that when we go on shutupandgo.travel, that there are all these articles that are so well worded, so witty, so funny,
edited to the T,
just
and
like
then there's
so
like
great
matching Instagram stories that are like well designed, swipe up links, because we have done that.
Right.
So when you know
Leading
how
by
much
example
time,
and
you literally know how much time it takes. You're able to like appreciate when somebody does it for you correctly, and you're also able to see when they do it incorrectly, so you save everybody's time and your money. So I think it's really like, when I was cleaning houses, my grandma looked at me, she's like, Joaninha, I know you're sad about cleaning this house, but just know if you know how to scrub a toilet, you'll be able to teach somebody how you want your toilet scrubbed.
wow.
Best life lesson.
Wow.
Learn how to scrub your own toilet.
Yeah. Well, no, let's go back to how you guys grew up. Where, you said you didn't come from money. You grew up scrubbing toilets, right? Was it with your grandma or your mom?
So I'm a Brazilian immigrant. I was born in Rio, and then when I was 5 in 1998, my mom took her 3 kids to the States because it's super dangerous in Brazil, and she just didn't want to raise her kids like consistently on edge. So we came. We were undocumented for 12 years. That's like another story for another day. But now I have dual citizenship, so we're good.
Amazing.
After like my mom married 3 times. Like really putting my drama out there.
Mine did too. It's okay.
No, both of our moms are married 3 times and had 3 kids.
And we're the youngest of the 3.
Wow.
Weird.
Meant to be.
Yeah, so at the same time, like I'm growing up in this, my mom comes from Rio to Connecticut, like random. She wanted the furthest thing from Rio, which is like Bethel, Connecticut. This tiny little town, looks like it belongs in an ABC Family movie. And
Probably all white people.
All white people.
Yeah.
We were the first family that didn't speak English, and I didn't speak English for like the first 3 years. So it was like super tough, because then I grew up in between cultures. And then my mom like raised 3 kids nannying for a family of 4 rich kids. So she like raised these white children, these American like rich kids, and we were kind of like scrambling, whatever, to kind of like raise ourselves. And I think that's the story of a lot of immigrant kids, where like your mom or your dad is like, they're out there like putting food on the table for you at the expense of like not being able to be around. So that was kind of my background. And so every weekend I would clean the houses with my mom. I'd like go to these rich kids' families and be like, I'll never be the kind of person to like not take things for granted. Like I would never take things for granted. And then flash forward, like it's crazy because like I'm sure you get gifted. So now when I get gifted, I'm literally like, oh my God, like flashing back to my 8-year-old self that would like cringe at all these things. And I'm like, I'm now that person, but like I think about it.
Well, yeah. And you can do something else with that too. Like
Don't need
all
it, we give it away.
Exactly. Any tech that I don't need, I'm like, first, mom, dad, John, brother, do you need this? And then fourth, it's like when I was moving into this office, it's like, oh my God, I have so much stuff. And I literally just started on Twitter. Who needs a computer? Who needs this? So, I mean, there's cool.
The like spirit of giving is real.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So that was my background. And then like I always worked like when I was 16, I cleaned houses with my mom. And then when I was 16, I got a job. I had 2 jobs. I would walk everywhere. Like construction, New York City. I was a construction worker. No, I used to paint houses.
No way.
I used to paint houses on the summertime, but I learned how to make money.
Yeah.
So my mom would
is
pay
huge.
me. She would pay me like $10 every time I cleaned a house, and then I would save that little money.
I feel like that connection is so huge because I grew up, middle. Why am I? What's the word?
Middle class.
Middle class. Yeah. Why did I blank on that?
middle.
Brain fart. Middle class. And the biggest thing my parents did for me was, oh yeah, you want that guitar? Sick. Who are you going to babysit this weekend and for the next weekends and year? And there was always the connection of, oh, you want something? Go out and make money. Like go out and work, go out and referee basketball or do. And I think that's like a huge connection a lot of kids are missing. Like, oh yeah, Johnny, you want this new iPhone? Here you go. Like, oh no.
Yeah. But it's also like financial freedom is one thing that we always preach because like when you want to live a travel lifestyle, people are like, Damon and Joe, I want to travel, but my parents are paying for school. And it's like, that's mistake number 1.
Yeah, you're still under your parents' control if they're paying
like,
for school. You have to do what they want to do if they're paying for it.
If
100%.
anybody is paying for anything, you don't own your life, which is like the number 1 thing that I learned from these like humble beginnings of like, okay, I'm going to clean this house and it's going to suck because I can't go to the party with my friends, but I can like buy whatever I want because it's my money.
I just want to say that situation though is like super dangerous actually, because if you're going to school, to college, and your parents are paying for everything and they want you to be a doctor, and then you're going to school to be a doctor,
you feel that pressure,
and then you graduate, they're going to be so disappointed when you finally tell them like, look, I don't want to be a doctor. Then it's going to be even worse because then you're not using your degree. You owe
them.
It's like, don't do that.
And when I was in college, I was 3.5 years into an engineering degree, and so overwhelmed, but I was so upset because all the people around me, their parents were paying for their college, and I was like genuinely upset at my like dad being like, why can't you help me? I was like furious because everyone else around me like had their mommy and daddy paying.
But like, don't you? You're so glad.
In hindsight, that is what made me make my own decision, what was right for me.
Totally.
And if I didn't have that push, I don't know if I would have dropped out because there were so many factors that I had to say, okay, well, what do I want? And what's smart financially? Like, do I go into debt or do I start this life, you know, with $2,000 in my bank, but I don't have debt? So, huge.
Humongous.
Like, such a huge thing that people don't realize because when other people kind of like own that, then you lose your freedom of choice.
Which is
exactly.
like, and that's not even just like parents and children. It's like bosses, salaries, like all of these things that like really tie you down. And it's, so I was listening to a podcast and they surveyed, I forgot, maybe like 100 people, and like 60% of the people didn't like their jobs, and they broke it down of like 20% of people hated their jobs, 20% like thought that they could do something better, and the other 20% like were kind of indifferent. So basically 60% didn't like their jobs, 40% did. And of the top 20 people that loved their jobs, their response was that they controlled their schedules, that they controlled their life, and they could still work. And so, I mean, if you look at that, it basically boils down to, do you have control over your own life? Whether it's financially, like when you're a kid, or like when you're a teenager, because obviously when you're a kid, your parents are going to support you. But when you're a teenager, do you learn the value of like creating your own money? When you're an adult, did you sign up for a job where you can control your schedule? Because the more control you have, even with us now, like 'tis the season for that sponsorship video. So it's like, we actually had a conversation with our managers. Like, we didn't work this hard to be entrepreneurs to somehow feel like we don't have control of our life. Mm-hmm. If that means passing up this deal, happiness is worth more.
Yes.
Because I didn't come this far to still feel like I'm cornered.
Well, and we started primarily just wanting freedom. We just wanted to work for ourselves, do not care about the money. And after like you reach a certain level in your bank account, like what do you need money for? You know, like you're living your life daily and it works out. But yeah, and even nowadays when sponsors come to us and they're like, we'll give you all this money. I'm like, and it's who's editing, who's filming? It's like, not like, I want, at the end of the day, we're all here on earth to like live a life. And like, whether you have money or not, yes, money's great, but like, we just need our freedom to like enjoy and be happy and do our, like what we love to do.
But I think it's also because we're like,
that's good. That unlocks something in me. Like, oh, I need to seek out some more freedom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
and it's like streamlining your needs. Like, what do you really need, right? Like, do you need certain expenses? Because the like leaner your expenses are, the more freedom you have, because then you're not worried about chasing money to cover this like high overhead of a life. So we're all about like trimming the fat. We're not like flashy, like wham bam, like Balenciagas type people.
Unless it's from a thrift store for $35.
Yeah,
like, yes.
like that's always going to be the core of us because we came from that. Damon also came, like he grew up in a trailer park.
Yeah,
it was
Damon,
double wide.
Where'd you
It was a
grow
double
up?
wide trailer.
It was a nice ass trailer, okay?
No, also something we didn't mention, both of our parents were divorced from like a young age.
Wow.
So like not only were the youngest, mom's been married 3 times.
Divorced, all of them, yeah.
I mean,
they're happy now, right? Like everyone's happy.
That's good. But as a kid, yeah, that's hard.
I guess, yeah. I mean, my parents still get along so great, so I'm
So
like
do mine.
so happy. Yeah, right?
They're like they're same people living in alternate universes. It's very bizarre.
You're in like the Brazilian one, and yeah.
You're like
So after they got a divorce, my mom obviously didn't have money, so we went to this trailer park that was next to our old house, and she raised us, basically me and my 2 brothers, and I would split my weeks going like 2 days to my dad's house and the other days to my mom's house. But I just remember like growing up in the trailer park, and people have this stigma of trailer parks as being like junky, like trashy.
Yeah.
I would love to live in a trailer park again.
He made me
Would
go on the
love
swing
it.
set. Like we went to
Would
see his
love
trailer
it.
park.
So John literally lived in a trailer park at one point in his life too, and he says the same exact thing. He said it was so much fun.
So fun. Well, there was like a community park. Like
Yeah.
I was the leader of all the kids there.
No, but like,
Of
what's
course
so
you
interesting, of course, like making the rules on the playground.
Yes.
Seriously, I'd be like, no, Shania, you can't do that. I was like so mean, but
Such
whatever.
a bossy pants.
Um,
This is in Indiana also. So he grew up in the middle of the States, like meat and potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Very like American background, no international tidbits whatsoever, which is really, I'm always like, damn, Damon, like I'm glad that you were curious.
Well, where did that curiosity start?
Yeah, people always think this is a joke when I say it, but it's not. I really think my desire for traveling and my curiosity for the world came from The Real World on MTV. I'm not
Wow.
joking, everybody. Yeah, like I used to watch that show even before I was supposed to be watching it, like
Yeah.
probably 8 years old watching
Like pulling
like
hair and like calling each other bitch. And he's like,
they're like in the hot tub in bikinis and stuff, and I'm like, cool. Yeah, no, I remember watching from my trailer The Real World New Orleans, like fall in love with this girl named Melissa.
before like girls were not in the future.
Before I knew, you know. No, I just remember watching The Real World because each season was in a new city or sometimes new country. There was a season in Paris, and I'm like, French, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And then, in high school, we had the choice to choose between French or Spanish. I chose Spanish because everybody told me to.
Yeah.
When
Meanwhile,
really I wanted
did the
to do
opposite.
French.
I literally did the opposite. Everybody's
French.
like, do Spanish, you speak Portuguese, it's gonna be so easy. And I'm like, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn French, you know?
Look
And
at that.
so,
Challenge yourself.
but then ironically, like, you somehow stumbled into French.
So that was your first
So
exposure?
yeah, I started learning Spanish, and then I realized like, okay, I can work at the local coffee house, my first job, 15, 16, saved up enough money, and then I went to Barcelona when I was 16 to study Spanish for 2 months, and it was in Spain that I met 2 French girls. Again, like why was I so into girls back in the day?
He still is. He like rolls deep with the ladies.
Like my Instagram Explorer is like all like hot girls.
I
and
love
it's like,
it.
what? No, so anyways, I met 2 French girls, and they like really intrigued me because
Yeah.
here I was just like an Indiana boy from a literal trailer park in the middle of the States, and they were like these cool, elegant French girls, and it just made me realize like, wow, like what a different world that they come from. So anyways, started learning French. That spiraled into learning both languages. That's what inspired me to go to Paris. That's what inspired like this whole channel. Like if you really
That's
look
how
at
we
your
became
life,
friends.
Wow.
we met on a Facebook group because she posted something about a French placement exam, and I said
Such
like,
a
yes.
nerd, and the only other nerd who cared was Damon. He's like, "Where'd you find the exam?
I love
Where'd you get
that.
on the test?" Like that was like our first.
Wow.
It's crazy to
message.
like look back at your life hindsight, like you were saying, and like connect all the dots that you didn't think were important back in the day, and now it's
Always
like,
important.
oh my god, like even right now, like maybe we're gonna take over the creative life in 2 years. Maybe we're the people she's
Maybe
looking
we'll
for.
we'll like develop a company together. You literally don't know.
Yeah,
Don't know.
yeah. Oh, that's exciting, guys. Let's go.
I'm like,
Maybe
down.
we'll finally learn how to like use all of our equipment because
Yeah.
she'll teach us.
Boom, done. God, that's so sick. And it didn't stop. Like when you guys were in New York, you were doing odd jobs, right? I mean, you had the YouTube channel, but you were still like delivering groceries.
Oh my God, everybody
Tell me
loves
about,
that.
Tell me about that, because
Yeah, people love this part.
someone will go to your YouTube channel and be like, "Oh, they've been full time for years
No,
now."
they think
we're
they
like
probably
rich
always
kids.
They think we're rich kids.
Oh my God, and I want to like throw up
Yeah.
on their heads.
So
like,
when you started the YouTube channel, what was that grind like? I mean, you were living in New York.
I just want to say also, like, if you are a rich kid, like, please use the money and go travel.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
even
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
are, don't feel bad. Like,
I know
you're
some
lucky.
rich kids, and they're like the best because they still understand that it's like worthwhile to spend money on experiences.
Right.
So like you can be a trust fund baby. You don't get to choose how you're born. I think that's like the
Right.
whole theme. Like we don't
Just having
choose.
perspective and empathy, I think,
Exactly.
is huge. Yeah.
Like and ambition too to like live the life you want to live. Because whether you start from 0 or you start from like 10, you could still actively every single day do something to get your life closer to how you want to live. So for us, I mean, for me personally, I was in school for business. I got to school. My mom was like, "You're not gonna." She didn't want me to go to college because we couldn't afford it. So I went behind her back, applied, got in. And I was like, "Hey, mom, like, can you just sign off this loan?" And she's like, "I'm not gonna pay a penny." I'm like, "I'm gonna figure out a way to pay this." So I did. So before I even got to the dorms, I had interviewed for a job on campus. So I was like an administrative assistant going to school full time, then like partied my ass off, like had my sister's ID by like spring semester freshman year.
So you had fun too.
How the roles have changed, right? Like,
Yeah, like I was the party girl. Damon was like afraid of the word sex from Sex in the City.
sex, drinking, like I didn't want
He
any
was
of
so
it.
straight edge.
No, I want all of it. No, I'm just kidding.
And wow, how things have changed.
No, seriously, like now I'm the one that's like staying in at home, and he's like, I'm going to a rave, Joe. I'm like, have fun.
Well, raves are your thing now, right, Damon?
I used to think, like, why would somebody listen to like you can't dance to it, like it's so repetitive. Now, like that's my scene.
The boy lost a shirt in a club
Right.
and had to put his coat on shirtless in London, like in December.
How
have a
does that
habit.
happen?
All right, well, you know. So at raves, it gets sweaty. Like
Yeah.
the guys tend to take their shirts off. Girls even take their shirts off sometimes with like a bra.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or
Like it's
not.
Europe.
It's Europe. No, like yeah.
Everyone listening to this is like, I'm going to Europe.
No, yeah, it was sweaty, so I took the shirt off, put it here. Oh, I think I was wearing these pants, and it just happened to like fall on the ground. And I'm like, shoot! But that I have a
like,
habit.
oh, well.
I have a habit of this. Like I've lost bracelets in the club. I just lost my hat on the
Damn,
shoot
it
that we
goes
did.
hard.
Not the point, but
What is the point?
what was the question again?
Wait, let me
Raves.
backtrack.
Oh no, it was odd jobs.
Oh, Odd
like when
Jobs.
you started your YouTube channel.
So I was
Because-
go-go boy.
yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
That's like his dream job secretly. That's why he's gonna click delete on the YouTube channel. No, so I was working like I would always have a mix of like office jobs, which is where I learned a lot of the managerial skills. But then I would like it was all strategic. Like I literally I worked in that office so I could intern as a freshman, because in the school you couldn't. But I was like, let me get in with the people who approve these internships. So by the time I was a freshman, spring semester, I was interning in PR. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, like many people. And so I was like, I want to do business. So I started in PR, hated it. I was like, I do not want to like care who wore Miu Mius. Like I don't give, like what are Miu Mius?
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit.
I don't know.
So then
what
I
those
like
are.
did
But
that
now you
Designer.
know though. You check that off your
so then-
list.
but it's like
Next.
frustrating
Yeah.
if people are listening and they don't know what to do with their lives.
Right.
A lot of the times you like put yourself in these positions where you do a lot of stuff you don't like, and you feel discouraged because you're like, I'm
But
not
you
getting
gotta
closer.
do that because that's when you know you move on. You're like, okay, I don't like that. I don't have to go
Absolutely.
back to that next.
So you just need to like be real with yourself, which is why I took another PR internship, like literally. But then I was like more of the manager of that PR internship. And then by sophomore year, I was interning in digital ad sales at NBC and working at a restaurant, because all of these internships were unpaid.
Wow.
So I would like work
So
on
restaurant
campus.
on
I had
top
3
of-
jobs. Yeah.
Wow.
Shitty New York City restaurant job. I was like the dungeon rat picking up the phones, but the phone knowledge came in handy.
Yes.
Then I worked, I don't even remember, I like would work over the summer to get free housing so that I could work more in the restaurants. Then I started like delivering groceries at the time that we started our channel, because I needed
Did
stuff.
both of you guys do that? Deliver groceries?
I got the job first. I was like, Damon,
Yeah.
$10 an hour. I'm posted up at Whole Foods. Come through, let's edit and get paid.
Because we were with the app Instacart
Yeah.
at the beginning of when it like just started.
It was
so
a Craigslist
Wow.
ad. I literally found this on Craigslist.
Wow.
So nobody was ordering groceries. So basically, you'd be on the clock, but no one was ordering it. So that we would use that time to get paid and edit our videos on our channel.
So we would like control the schedule, and then we started working in a hostel. And so Damon got that job, and then he got me the job. So we would like really tag team on everything.
Yeah.
So
And
that
that
job
helps
was a
with
great,
languages.
That helped with languages, and that was actually the first sponsorship that we ever did, because we again strategically worked from the inside out. So we're like, cool, we're gonna be cool with the managers, we're gonna win Employee of the Month, and then we're gonna hit them with our YouTube channel and be like, hey, can we go to Madison, Wisconsin, and like film there, and like you cover the flight? They hated it because they were like not trying to pay, but I like invoiced them anyways. So we worked at a hostel for like a year. That was a great job, because if we couldn't travel, we were gonna be around travel. Then I graduated college. Then I worked at a co-working space strategically to have a space for us to work. So Damon would meet me at midnight. We would film videos. So some of the videos, if you watch and you see dark circles under our eyes.
That was New York. Co-working
Well,
space.
and you're filming at midnight.
We're filming at
Yup.
midnight. We were living in Harlem, like stressful situations. And then I had a strategic job at a travel management company that they gave me a promotion. And that's when I was like, enough is enough. I'm killing myself working for other people where my ideas should be put on my own stuff.
Yeah, the goal for working when you're trying to build something else is to be in control of your own schedule, especially if you want to do something in travel, because then you bulk work and then you bulk take time off. And so that was always our strategy. So I worked as a TV extra, which by the way was really fun, but it paid like $8 an hour, so it was like chump change, and it was no way to like really make money.
What shows?
I did Orange is the New Black,
Amazing.
Club Scene, surprising. It was so awkward to dance with no music. They'd be like, and action, and you'd be like, what? Like, I'm gonna look so bad. And then they like time up the music so you look offbeat. I did that, and then I also walked a dog named Gypsy.
Oh my god!
Would take Gypsy, which I got from another job that I worked in Brooklyn. I was a French teacher. So I don't have a degree in French. Like I just lived in Paris, had a French ex-boyfriend, really learned French to like a fluent level. And I got this job at this language school called Fluent City, like one of my best jobs ever. And in one of the classes I was teaching, I was like kind of jokingly saying like, yeah, and if anyone like needs their dog walked or like laundry taken out, like I'm down. And somebody emailed me after. And then she was the one that, gave me the dog walking gig.
You picked up her laundry too, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, again, we would do everything as long as we were in control of our own schedule.
I love that. I mean, there's always another side of it. Because when I was a basketball player and I was refereeing basketball, there was another referee there who was also a video person at a production company. So every single weekend, whenever we would have time off, I was like, okay, so explain aperture, shutter, and ISO to me again. Okay, cool. And what cameras do you use? I mean, there's always so many different layers, and like if people don't know what they want to do, you just have to start somewhere. Start with one of your passions and ask questions.
No matter what your job is, like there's something to be learned that can be applied later. Like we were catering, Joe got that job, then she gave it to me. Like oh
my god, those tips and the champagne you would walk out and flower arrangements, it was like one of the best jobs.
The money is in catering. Like if you're looking for a job, reach out.
Cash, like
quick
fast
cash, catering, party events. You get paid like $20 to $25 an hour.
Wow.
So the most fun job. You'd walk away with like a huge check, because we would do weddings, and like the wedding, what the bride and groom would tip. So like when we get married, now we know to tip the catering staff.
So you learn these like random things.
Or what wines people like, or what hors d'oeuvres you should be serving. Like there's so much knowledge, that you learn from these jobs that you think are just like, time sucks.
I think people are just sitting on their computers nowadays and watching YouTube videos thinking that that's what's gonna spark these ideas of what they want to do in life, and they forget you gotta get out. You gotta get out and do it. No matter what it is, you just gotta start somewhere.
Like kinesthetic, like you gotta do it.
Exactly.
Like get your hands dirty.
Move your body, go do it.
Yeah.
Shut up and go.
Guys, I haven't looked at my questions this entire time. That's what I love about you guys. It's just so flowy.
We're just actually friends.
I love it.
Also.
Yeah, exactly.
We're actually just friends.
So fun.
Can we say we like Googled your name, just in the Uber here, just to see what would come up?
Oh,
and
no.
we saw a picture, and we were like, we zoomed in, we're like, oh.
We miss Sarah.
I don't know where this picture was from, but it looked professional.
I wonder what picture.
I made a playlist for you on Spotify. It wasn't your account, but it was like. Yeah, it was like literally a dedicated playlist to you.
Thank you guys, adorable. Peachy fam, strong out there. All right, I'm gonna go through my questions. Let's see. How do you travel for cheap? Oh, travel apps. Do you guys have any like hacks?
So recently we've been like credit card points monsters.
Yes.
So
I could talk credit cards all day.
Credit cards and airline miles. So like I recently downloaded all of the. Also, it's good for you to download these apps before you get in flight, because like we are part of an alliance, but a lot of times like people will book our flights and it's like on another flight company, and then you like go to the plane and they're like free entertainment on our app, and you're like, well, cool thing that I don't have service. So I downloaded all the apps for the airlines. Smart. And also to track your miles and your points and things like that. Otherwise, I use a Ward wallet to have, like all of those numbers. It's like, what's your advantage number? What's like, it's just overwhelming. So I feel like people get discouraged from using frequent flyer mile programs because it's too many numbers to keep track of. We do it in two different ways. Damon has a notepad in his phone with both of our numbers for every alliance, which is great.
There are 3 alliances when you fly. And
this
each
sounds
alliance,
intense.
It's
alliances.
So intense. They make it so hard. I'm going to try to break it down.
Please.
Like, if I were listening, what I would want to know. There are 3 airline alliances, or like partner, alliances. 3 airline, One World, SkyTeam, and Star Alliance. And within these alliances, there are like 20 airlines each. Oh. So already it's like a math problem. Like which airlines do you
what's
take?
Strategic? Yeah, because a lot of them are like they service the Middle East or they service Europe, or like some airlines service everything, but you just like flying with British Airways more than something else. So
So you can get points or a credit card, stuff like that, for the alliances instead of the individual airlines.
So-
That's where you're coming from?
So basically, yeah,
or-
like say you always go to LA from New York, you should look at like what flight you like to take. Say it's American Airlines. American Airlines is in the One World Alliance, so you need to look at all those partner airlines that are in the One World Alliance, and then you should only take those, because
And then you
over
use
time,
your same number, American number, even if you're not flying American, as long as it's in the alliance. And then
because then you
those
start
points.
building the points. Because if you're just tracking, you take Delta here, you take United, you take American.
Being loyal has been the best thing I've ever done. Delta rules.
Yeah, you need to stick to like one airline company or one alliance, because if you're just taking American, Delta, United, like those are 3 different alliances, and you may be like tracking your points, but you're never going to get anywhere because they're all separated by alliances.
And so, like, what do you get? Like, right now, if we fly American, we get free check bags for, like, us and 4 people that fly with us. So it's, like, immediately
That's
cool.
amazing.
I want to go on American because I got a lot of baggage. So, like, you think about those things, or you get priority boarding. But that's with miles. And then there are points, like credit card points. So that's, like, there are channels and, like, articles dedicated towards just
Points
hacking.
guy is a good one.
Yeah, hacking the points. And so, like, I was always, like, running on credit because, like, I had literally no money when I studied abroad. I put everything on a credit card.
Yeah.
But it was a Chase Sapphire card, and, like,
Ooh,
that's a
good
travel
one.
card.
Yeah.
So, like, after years and years and years of having that, I looked at my credit card points, and I'm like, both of us are I'm going to Miami in an hour, going for free because I used my points that were just sitting in the bank and they never expire.
Also, I just want to say, like, when we were studying abroad at the same time, I was against credit cards. I'm like, if you don't have the money, then why are you spending it? Joe was like, she knew the credit card game. So really, if you think about it, we're 2 students
pay it
studying
off every
abroad.
month.
Joe's using her credit card for all these purchases. I'm using my debit card for all these purchases because I have like the pride of like, I'm going to use my own money. But really, that's only hurting me because as long as you pay off the amount that you pay, you're going to get points on credit cards and you won't get points on debit cards. So Joe got all these like points from all her purchases.
If you have the money and you know you can sit down once a month and pay it off, that is when you utilize it. Like, I don't want any, what's his name? Lives in Nashville. Dave Ramsey. I don't want any Dave Ramsey people being like, credit cards are the devil, just paying cash. Time and place. If you have a lot of debt and you know you can't do that right now, then pay everything with debit and cash. That's okay. But if you're responsible, the payoff with credit cards is huge. Like for travel, Chase Sapphire Rewards, Barclay Travel is also a really good one. And then recently, so I had a Barclay card, and the only reason why I went to Iceland was because I got a free trip from that card because they were having a special where you got 40,000 bonus points if you spent over $3,000.
Most credit cards have that. Yeah,
I knew I was about to buy new camera gear, so I got that card, put it on the card, and then free trip to Iceland. And then now I'm with Delta. I got the like Delta Amex, like the fancy black one, where you actually have to pay every year for it.
But then you get travel vouchers and you get access to the lounges.
The ease access to Travel Lounge has like changed my life because it's those times when you're only 10 minutes in the airport and you just have to grab some food. That's usually when you're not going to pay $50 for the lounge, but because you got that instant access, it's like, it's life-changing. Anyways, I mean, that's huge, right? Yeah. Credit cards, points, paying attention to that pays off.
TSA pre-check is included sometimes too, global entry. So like, think about what you want, strategically find a card that makes sense for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You got a schmutzel like right there.
Good thing it's audio only until you subscribe.
Yeah, like, don't zoom in.
Don't.
Like, Sarah, I hope you edit zoomed in.
Zooming in. It's okay. I've had food poisoning and I'm so dehydrated that like everything in my body is so dry.
You look great though.
Thanks, guys. This is my first time out of the apartment, so thanks for dealing with me. In the final few moments, I was wondering, can you guys teach me some like Portuguese or French, or can I embarrass myself on this? Give me something to say.
Ooh, maybe let's do French. Maybe let's do French.
Let's do some French.
Okay.
I feel like there are more French
useful.
Okay.
What
How about to John?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, give me something romantic to say.
Like,
let's start with te hamburgers.
Is that hamburgers?
You're a hamburger.
That sounds like te hamburgers.
Okay, te, b, or like bo. It's like, it depends. Like, you say it fast. Bogus.
Bogus.
Te,
almost like bogus, but bogus.
You're a bogus hamburger.
Okay. Te hamburgers.
Yes.
Pas grave. That was like, c'était bien dit.
That's like, you are a handsome dude. Like, you're fine. Like, you're a sexy guy.
There you
go.
John, hopefully you're listening to this podcast because that's the last time I will say that because I don't remember it. I just said it and it's
He
gone.
like clips the audio and
It's
plays
gone.
it back to
Yes.
himself.
How would I say that in Portuguese? Or
Você-
Spanish? I mean,
Portuguese.
Okay.
Você
você
é
é
gatinho.
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 Você é gatinho.
Você é gatinho. All right, thank you guys for listening.
And that's all the time we have.
No, let's end this off on an inspirational note. Anyone who wants to travel out there, maybe they're stuck in a 9-to-5 job, or maybe they're young and they don't know what's out there in the world. What would you say to them?
I would say, whatever you want to do in life, if you really, really want to do it, you'll make it happen. You'll take all the sacrifices. You'll live in a studio apartment. You'll save your money. It may take time, but you will make it happen if you truly want to make it happen. And you only know that. I think you only know really like how much effort you're going to put into something.
Your limits. Yeah, I think financial freedom is number one. Learning the value of like that relationship with money, of like, if I work, I'm making sacrifices because I'm not like partying out with my friends, but I'm working so that in the end I own control of my life. And then when you do that, I think step 2 is like listen to what you really want to do, because even with that in my mind, the first time I made a decision for myself was when I was 21, when I was like, I had always said that I wanted to go to Italy. And I never went to Italy by myself. I was always like, oh yeah, like even with me and Damon, I'm like, oh Damon, you want to go to France? Cool, I'll go to France. But it's like, what do I want to do? And so the first time I took a leap and I'm like, how can I be 21 and never have made a choice for myself, not because anybody else is wanting to do that?
Yeah, not college, not parents, not guidance
Like,
counselors, boyfriends, girlfriends.
It might even be inconvenient, but if it's for you, you're gonna really like be inspired at yourself, and then it's gonna open the door to like the self-confidence and just like this badassness that you own your life.
I love that. And what I love too is like both of you do a lot of solo travel, and I think that can be super empowering to people who've never done that before. Maybe they've traveled, but they've never traveled by themselves. And I mean, you guys have a lot of good videos. I love the Greece one that you did, where you're like, well, I lost all my footage, so I guess I got to go back to Greece and experience this.
So crazy.
Actually, right now, so after this is done, like we're splitting up for a month and a half until
God.
we see you again.
Wow.
Yeah, she's going to Miami and LA. I'm going to
miss you?
Paris.
How do you do that a month and a half?
Even that, like
Yeah.
again.
Like, we're not together.
But
one.
perfect
Yeah, well,
example.
yeah.
Like we have one channel and everybody's like, so what are you guys going to do when you want to travel alone? And we've like solved that problem because we realized a big part of our happiness is not only traveling together, but traveling alone.
Yeah.
So we're like, cool, how can we make this work? We can make videos that are solo, but then we can literally collaborate with each other on one video.
Yeah.
So it's all like, if you want to make it happen, find a creative solution, because there's always a solution.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Damon, have fun in Paris, and you have fun in Miami. Is that it? Woo, woo.
Yes.
Guys, check out all their stuff. Is it shutupandgo.travel for the website?
She is so
Is
good.
that okay?
That's what it is, only because
All right.
shutupgo.com was taken, so don't go there.
Okay,
We've been
don't-
stalking that guy.
Don't go. I'm sure he's like $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, those people are ruthless. I bought. Fun fact, I bought a URL when I was a sophomore in college for $2,000 that I still haven't done anything with it. So
Smart
Like
decisions.
secretly Shut Up and Go. It's literally she owns shutupandgo.com. Like, Sarah, can we
so
talk
we'll
after
talk
this?
after this, okay, guys? Yeah, check out Damon and Joe on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. All their links will be in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to That Creative Life on Apple Podcasts. If you enjoyed it, they should definitely leave a review, right, guys? They should go to Apple Podcasts.
They need to review it.
They need to leave a review. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Guys, thank you so much for being on. And until next time, stay peachy and keep creating out there. See you next Monday for another episode of That Creative Life.
That creative life.
That creative
We're gonna listen to every episode from now on.